Hello, my name is Heather Park and my team members are Kim Van Stratton and Ishan Sharma. I handled the clustering analysis for this team while Kim did the data visualization and Ishan handled the decision tree modeling. The objectives of this data mining project is to determine who our most profitable clientele are and which variables most affect our bike rental business, and with this information, how we can allocate resources to maximize profit. Bike rental businesses are primarily clustered around high tourist spots. As people are becoming more increasingly concerned about their health, bicycling during vacation has become more popular. This is a great way for families to see multiple sites at a low cost. There are many different products that a bike rental facility can offer. A few of our many different product offerings include leisure, mountain, tandem, recumbent, and trailer bikes. There are also many add-on features that we carry as well. Because of the versatility of the options, people are able to have whichever experience that they desire. There are many factors that would change the demand for a bicycle shop. Weather is definitely a high priority when a consumer is considering the renting a bicycle. Unfortunately, the bicycle shop does not have any control over the weather and must adjust its prices accordingly, with the knowledge that there will be a certain percentage of days that will most likely not have any bicycle rentals. Another factor is price. The bicycle shops are a slight advantage on price because people that are traveling are typically willing to pay a little bit more than local residents. Although they must not price themselves out of the market, if they are significantly more expensive than their competitors, they will lose revenue. They must price competitively at a rate that a consumer is willing to pay. Their demand can also be affected by holidays, because bicycle shops depend on tourists for their revenue. During some holidays, their sales will increase. During other holidays that people prefer to spend time with family, like Christmas, their sales might decrease. Their inventory must be large enough to accommodate their booming time periods, while not too large during their slow times. The location also plays a big role and can affect the revenue of the bicycle shop greatly. Due to the fact that many bicycle shops are located in tourist areas, they are clustered together. This makes it important to price strategically and offer options that other shops do not have. This is a decision tree modeling for the average square area. There's the left side and the right side. Our worst case was node 64. The rules for node 64 was registered is less than 204.5 or missing, and demand type is low or missing, and registered is less than 34.5 or missing. The registered is less than 15.5 or missing, registered is less than 6.5 or missing, and registered is less than 3.5 or missing. Our best case was node 123. The rules for node 123 was registered is greater than or equal to 204.5, registered is greater than or equal to 398.5, registered is greater than or equal to 587.5, and registered is greater than or equal to 708.5, and casual is greater than or equal to 73.5 or missing, and finally registered is greater than or equal to 765.5. To promote more rentals, market services should be targeted towards registered users. The decision tree modeling for the misclassification, the best outcome was node 3, which the rules are count is greater than or equal to 100.5 or missing, and the worst outcome was node 2, with the rules count is less than 100.5. To promote more rentals, we should keep on doing what we're doing, as there are more times that rentals are above or equal to 100 than under. For the cluster analysis, we chose the variables month, season, registered count, and weather. We chose these variables because we feel as though they impact the business the most. The month is an important variable to measure, as it is important to monitor the months with the highest rentals and the lowest. With this data, we are able to allocate our resources efficiently to predict future demand and maximize profits. The season is also important to monitor because we can observe quarterly sales and rental estimates. The count is another important variable to measure because it is important to recognize the number of instances rentals occur for each aspect that we are studying. Lastly, the weather is one variable we chose to observe to see which weather conditions are best for rentals and how to allocate funds to increase profits for these best conditions, as well as seeing how we can better manage with weather that does not have the demand for rentals as much. Taking a closer look at our cluster analysis, segment 2 makes up most of the data. It is 34.94% of the data. and has a count of 3,804. Its most important variables include count, registered, and weather. Most of segment 2 has a low count, low registered, and a little more than average responded to weather. Distribution among the average variables tend to be below average. Segment 6, our second largest segment, has a count of 2542 and makes up 23.35% of the data. Its most important variables include count, registered, and casual. The distribution among the variables tend to be average overall. Our third largest segment, segment 1, has a count of 2,108 and makes up 19.38% of the data. Its most important variables include weather, count, and registered. A few responded to the weather, and the distribution among the variables tend to be average as well. A few amounts responded to the count, and the value of these segments is below average. The same applies to registered. Now we will move on to our bottom 3 segments. Segment 4 has a count of 1,250 and makes up 11.48% of the data. Its most important variables include weather, count, and registered. An average amount responded to these variables, and the distribution among these variables tend to be average as well. Segment 3 has a count of 846 and makes up 7.77% of the data. Its most important variables include count, registered, and casual. The count is much higher and tends to be above average. The same analysis applies to registered. Casual, however, has a distribution that tends to be average. Our smallest segment, segment 5, has a count of 336 and makes up 3.09% of the data. Its most important values, and only values, are registered and count. Both variables have distributions that tend to be higher than the average. From this dashboard, we are able to see that June has the highest amount of rentals while January has the least. The rentals increased dramatically since 2015, and a much larger percentage of hours contain 100 or greater rentals. Fall, however, has the most amount of rentals. Categorizing the counts by the month tells us the strongest month is in June. Before June, the business will need to assure that all their inventory is up and running and not in need of repairs. They will need to make sure that the business is fully stocked with all merchandise. A good time to make all of the bike repairs would be in January, the slowest time of the year. Labor hours that would normally be used for renting bicycles, stocking shelves, and giving tours now can be used to make sure inventory will be ready at the time when the business months come around. Hand in hand with the categorization of the months is the seasons. The season breakdown shows that the highest demand appears in fall. This is the time of the year you may need additional staff to keep up with the demand. During the quietest time of the year, spring, may be the time to catch up on any maintenance on the inventory as well as building repairs necessarily. This also may be the time to come up with a marketing plan for the busy season. The categorization by year shows that the company is increasing its rentals and therefore increasing its revenue. The demand type graph also shows that there are far more hours that there are 100 or more rentals than there are not. This also shows that the revenue is high. According to the decision trees, registered riders influence the number of rentals every season. Although the highest rentals occur during the fall season, during every season there are more registered riders than non-registered riders. As a business, we would recommend to encourage people to become registered riders during the fall and winter months, so they will have more people coming in to rent bikes during the spring and summer. There is also a correlation between the temperature and amount of bike rentals. Higher temperatures reduce the number of people renting bikes. Thus, as the spring and summer season have higher temperatures overall, we see fewer rentals and less income during those seasons. Therefore, as the bike shop experiences more traffic overall of registered and non-registered customers during the colder seasons, encouraging more of the non-registered customers to become registered riders will encourage them to come back all year even during the slowest season. This will boost rentals and sales during the slowest seasons and increase profits overall.